I woke up at 6:03. The first thing I heard was dripping, the bathroom faucet leaking again. Then came the distant rumble of a truck outside. And one more thing, the intrusive thought that I had already lived through this day. I walked to the window. The same mailman in the yellow jacket was taking the same path down the sidewalk. The same dog across the street bolted and howled at him, just like before. And then I felt it, that strange, gut-deep certainty. I'd seen all this before. Every little detail felt familiar, not just routine, repeated. I opened the fridge, the milk on the left, the apple on the door shelf. Yesterday, I could have sworn I put the apple on the right. Or was it the day before? Time was starting to dissolve, washing away like chalk under rain. At the office, no one seemed to notice anything unusual, but I felt as if I were watching a movie I'd seen before. Not the exact same film, but an alternate cut. The director kept tweaking tiny things. Yesterday, Stacy wore a red sweater. Today it was blue. But her smile, her gestures, even her words, identical. I didn't dare say anything. I didn't want anyone to think I was losing sleep, or worse, losing my mind. That night, back home, I sat in my chair for what felt like hours. The TV flickered with news I'd already heard, though I was sure they were talking about something else entirely. But maybe the news always repeats, doesn't it? I dozed off for half an hour and had the same dream again. The walls of my house dissolved into fog. I was walking down a street that looked familiar, yet every turn revealed something alien. Someone was following me. I could feel them, but they never came close. I woke up to the faucet dripping. 6:03. And again, everything was the same. But each time something shifted. Melancholy turned into anxiety, anxiety into suspicion. My hands trembled slightly. My vision refused to focus. I couldn't remember the last time I'd slept properly. Each day my exhaustion multiplied, but sleep never came, only fragments of blackness, 15, maybe 20 minutes, and then I was pulled back into the repeating weight of reality. I started keeping records. At first, just simple notes. Stacy's sweater, green. Mailman took the other side of the street. Cat didn't show up today. But soon the pages filled with lists, endless lists. I was trying to find a pattern to break the cycle. By the 6th day, or maybe the 12th, I wasn't sure anymore, I noticed something. The more I changed my routine, the fewer details repeated. I started leaving home late, taking different routes, buying random groceries, doing anything to force the loop to crack. But the more I altered, the stranger the world became. One morning, I woke up in someone else's bed. I live alone. My apartment's double-locked. But I woke up on the living room couch, staring at the ceiling, the faint smell of someone else's clothes nearby. I had no memory of how I got there. I went back to the bedroom and caught my reflection in the mirror. Hollow eyes, deep purple shadows under them, skin pale and gray like someone recovering from a long illness. I looked like someone else's dream of me. At work, people started watching me differently. I began leaving a recorder on my desk to capture conversations, to see if I'd really heard everything before. But the playback was always distorted. Muffled voices, missing words, gaps, as if someone had erased pieces on purpose. I suspected someone was toying with me, but I never saw anyone. Then I remembered the old webcam in my kitchen, something I'd set up years ago to check on a cat I no longer had. I checked last night's recording. First frame, me, sitting in the dark. Then something else. I got up, walked to the window, stood there motionless for a long time, and then stepped out of frame. The camera kept running, but I never came back. Empty room, silence, but I woke up on the couch. I rewound the footage and froze. There I was, standing in the middle of the room, head tilted, eyes wide open, unblinking, staring straight into the lens. A minute, 2, 3. Then the camera clicked, and the recording cut out. That night, I decided not to sleep at all. I bought energy drinks, turned on every light in the apartment, took a kitchen knife, and sat facing the mirror. I wanted to see it happen, the moment I disappeared, when the day reset. But the night passed quietly. I didn't vanish. I just sat there, empty, drained, teetering on the edge. The next morning, I didn't recognize my face. The mirror showed something pale, faded, washed out. I touched my temple and felt something pulsing under the skin, warm, like blood, but deeper. A parasite? A hallucination? When I finally stepped outside, I noticed for the first time in a week how people avoided me. Eyes slid past mine. A mother pulled her child away as I approached. The cashier at the store wouldn't look at me. That's when it hit me. They know, all of them, and none of them will say it. My last plan was to see a doctor. But the clinic was empty. No nurses in the hallway, no staff at reception. The computers were off, the folders gone. It felt abandoned. Yet I was sure I'd made the appointment yesterday. I went home, grabbed my notebooks, and started cross-checking everything. Every match, every inconsistency. But the pages were blank. Every single one. My diary, an empty notebook. Then came the knock. Loud. Sharp. I froze. It came again. I walked to the door, and it opened by itself. Nobody there. Just the dark hallway, and at the far end, me, standing calmly, focused. He turned around and walked away. I ran after him, sprinting down the stairs, body numb, mind blank. But when I burst through the exit door, I was back inside my apartment. I stood in the middle of the room I'd left seconds ago. Same furniture, same light on the wall, same sour, heavy smell of my body in the air. But something was wrong. Outside the window, night. But I'd just walked out in daylight. The clock read 6:03. Morning? Evening? Again? Then I heard it. A faint, wet sound. Breathing in the dark. I turned. In the corner stood a figure. Not solid, not quite a person, more like a cutout in the air. A shadow of something without a shape. It didn't move. It just was. Like an absence where something should exist. I couldn't breathe. Something in my mind tried to shield me from what I was seeing, but I couldn't look away. And then the shadow slid across the room. Not walking, not stepping, shifting, warping the geometry around it. The walls stretched away, the ceiling bowed, the mirror on the wall melted into a black oval. I stumbled backward and hit my own body. I was lying on the floor, face down. Blood pooled from my mouth, eyes open. And I understood. I was standing over myself. The pulse in my temples faded. No panic,
No fear, just a cold, hollow terror, like the silence between thoughts. I wasn't alive. I hadn't been for a long time. Or maybe I died already, and my mind just refused to stop. I'm an echo, a ghost of a brain that won't shut down, a phantom waking up over and over at 6:03, dying in a different version of the same day. I can't escape. I can't change anything. Every choice I make only reshapes the same ending. Every action leads back to another loop, and in every loop I find myself dead in a different way. And now I hear it again. The faucet dripping, the truck outside, the barking dog, the hum of the fridge, the light. 6:03. I wake up, and I know it's here. The thing that wears my face walks on my legs. Each cycle it grows stronger, more real. And me? I'm fading.